In this New World video, we're gonna test Rogue versus Penetrating Backstab. If you didn't know, Rogue increases your backstab damage by 19% and Penetrating Backstab will penetrate 27% of a player's armor if you backstab them. For this test I will use two hatchets, one with Rogue on it and one with Penetrating Backstab. You'll see that the Penetrating Backstab has a gem on it and the Rogue one doesn't have a gem on it, but the gem won't make a difference since it's a moonstone gem. I will also perform this test on light armor, medium armor and heavy armor. First I will test with less than 150 con and afterwards I will test all of these equip loads with 200 con. Let's start with the light test and move our way up. So here's the first test in light equip. As you can see, Rogue does more damage than Penetrating Backstab when a player is in light. It doesn't matter if they're 200 con or less than 150 con. Rogue wins Penetrating Backstab by about 6% even if the player is 200 con. So if you're going to fight a player in light armor or that is in light armor, Rogue will be the better perk to use on all light armor users. Now let's move on to the medium equip and see how Rogue and Penetrating Backstab performs. As you just saw, Penetrating Backstab does more damage than Rogue when the player is in medium equip. So if the enemy is in medium equip, Penetrating Backstab will do more damage than Rogue. This goes for both 200 con and just below 150 con players. We did about 0.4 to 0.5% more damage with Penetrating Backstab. Now we're going to test Rogue and Penetrating Backstab on heavy armor. As you just saw, Penetrating Backstab did more damage than Rogue when a player is in heavy armor. If a player has more than 200 con, the damage even increases by 2%. This means that Penetrating Backstab is better against players with more armor, and Rogue is better against players with less armor. Or to make this easier for ourselves, Rogue will always beat light armor, and Penetrating Backstab will always beat any type of armor that is medium or above. But there's always a but. As you know, you get some armor with more physical resistance and some armor more with elemental resistance. For example, there might be a case where a medium player has more elemental resistance on their armor. This might skew the results into Rogue being better than Penetrating Backstab, but these cases will be rare. So I would recommend that if you want to do more damage against medium players and heavy players, go Penetrating Backstab. Otherwise, just go Rogue if you want to execute those light players as fast as possible. Another thing to consider is that Penetrating Backstab can only roll on a few weapons, or you can only craft it on a few weapons. You can only craft Penetrating Backstab on swords, rapiers, spears and hatchets. Basically all of the assassin weapons you can craft Penetrating Backstab on. Whereas with Rogue you can craft it on any weapon. And of course you can roll on any weapon as well except for the range weapons. I do think in some cases these backstab abilities might even be better than Vicious. Since Vicious increases your crit multiplier but Penetrating Backstab penetrates the armor and Rogue just increases your flat damage when you hit a player in the back. So I do think that these perks might even be better than Vicious in certain situations. And of course these perks are more of a assassin playstyle, but I do think that in a lot of cases you are even hitting people in the back with a great sword or with a great axe. You now know how Rogue and Penetrating Backstab works. But to get the full picture on how crit works, you should watch this video and understand if you're wasting keen or if you should just not use Vicious on your weapon.